Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Leo. If Leo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the 7 of Wands, which has everything to do with valor. Okay, and let's go ahead and take a look here and see what these tea leaves have to say. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to like the video or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Absolutely. Okay, so we have an A. We have an A right here. Maybe an A name. We have this cute little house here in the middle. You can see it looks like it has a chimney on it and everything. And within it, you can see that there are two people standing there. There's one right here and one right here. And this is right at the center. So I feel like this is something that is kind of really on your mind. And I feel like there's a sense of, well, and then we have a clown over here. You can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth. We have a pony up here. Okay, kind of a white one. You can see the eye, and then the leg, and the leg. The mane up here. This one looks like it says STG. Okay, now let's get to this. Let's get to this middle part. So I feel like there's a sense of almost feeling, like you've been made a fool of. There seems to be this energy, and I think it's within the home, or at least within the family, that there's just been some kind of situation where, I don't know, maybe it's like you've been broadsided by something, or something you said in confidence was kind of repeated, and now everybody kind of knows. And I get this feeling where it's like, okay, now I feel like among these people who I trust and I'm comfortable with, they have crossed my boundaries, right? Or at least this person who began the whole thing, they have crossed the boundary with me. And I feel like there is a sense of, well, just wanting to disappear, run away. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to deal with this. This is so much, and I think that it is, let me just say, I think that this is a perception, right? It feels overwhelming. It feels like a huge betrayal. It feels like something, maybe calculated, or at least being, just not caring for, not being careful with you and this, information that I feel like is really important to you. It's sensitive. As a Leo, I don't think that there are too many things that make you feel really insecure, or at least that, you just absolutely don't want anybody to know, unless you've told them yourself. But this is one of those few things. And I feel like this is something that I feel like it's, this feeling of, it's going to take a long time to kind of get over it and trust again. because, you know, and I think that the person really didn't necessarily do it on purpose, but I think, you know, part of it was that they just didn't take it as seriously as you did. And they might just be like stirring things up, you know. They might just be somebody who's kind of gossipy, you know, and so, you know, I feel that there's just a sense of kind of a little bit of turmoil in the home. Okay. But I don't think this lasts forever. I don't think it's as big of a deal. I mean, listen, when somebody crosses a boundary, that's a big deal. When somebody, you know, does something that you told them, asked them, please don't, you know, share this with it. This is between us. That's a big deal. But I don't see you lingering in it too long. It seems like, you know, there's going to be a period of time here where, yeah, there's some, you know, maybe some silence. Maybe the house is very quiet for a while. But I don't think it's going to be forever. I'm looking up here, and it looks like it says J-O-B. So job or Job, but I think it's job. And I think that this is kind of the thing that takes you out of this situation, you know, thinking about it. I feel like there's an opportunity here, or you are making an opportunity for yourself to begin a new job or side job, secondary job, maybe a business or some kind of side hustle, something like that. You know, we're going into summer, we're going into winter, depending on where you're at. And these are, you know, good times to really start working on something that you care about. Something that is, you know, somewhat fulfilling to you. But also, I think a lot of it has to do with just making some money, right? Making some money on the side, or hopefully kind of supplementing your income. And it's coming up right here. So I feel like this is kind of a blessed opportunity. I think that this is something that's going to be successful for you. And I think it really will take you out of this kind of, you know, being at odds with a family member or a loved one or a partner or whoever it is, okay? Because you'll get refocused. And let's see. Now we have 210, 210 as a number. We had that A. Pudgy's out in the hallway meowing. They're upstairs playing hide and go seek. We have kids, a family member staying, and my daughter's up there playing, Dad and Paul. Shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpentero. He's up there playing. He's starting to feel a little bit better, thankfully. Now, we also have, so many memories, and that's what I call them on here. It's the easiest way to say it without making YouTube's mad. So, yeah, very fertile. It reminds me very much of like Artemis, right? Or Diana, with all of the memories, you know, and milk coming out, and it is kind of that life-giving sustenance, right? And so definitely in a zone of the mother, okay? The great mother, you know, the mother of mothers. And I feel that, you know, this is a time when this is a time when kind of that earthen energy meets that fiery solar energy. And I feel that there is a sense of quickening in your life. I feel that there's a sense of, coming into a space where it's kind of like, it's kind of like becoming very apparent of being the dreamer and the dreamed, right? Being on both sides of the thing. Both being the dream and the sleeping God, right? And so, I feel as you are getting closer and closer to this real, and I feel like it is like a kind of ecstatic point. There is such a creativity, there is such a kind of sexual tension in you, a time of great sensuality, I think very expressive, just kind of exuding from you. And I think that's always the case to some degree. Like, Leo people just move different, right? They have an aura about them that is in flow with all things, right? And I think that that can be perceived as sensual to some people. I think a lot of people. But I think that more than anything, it's this mastery of energy flowing through the forum. And taking care to keep these blockages out and the centers of power, of energy, of chakra cleared, right? Activated, cleared. And so there's always this kind of powerful pulsing of electricity, of fire, of life itself. And this time is no different, but I feel that there is kind of a building upon building and building and getting to a point where, if you are not using this to create something for yourself, to express yourself in some way, it could turn into, supreme anger, a tendency towards, acting out. And, depending on where you're, there's so many placements, right? But I do think depending on your lunar placement, it really influences kind of, are you an outwardly expressive person, or do you like to kind of travel among the shadows a little bit? You're all the things that a Leo is, but you might be what I think of as kind of a night side person, where you do things in private. You maybe even prefer to omit or kind of hide your personal life, even from those who are very close to you, And this is where this kind of idea of like living a double life comes in. And, we kind of think of people, because it is confronting, right? To think of somebody who could live this life out in the open and, they kind of present themselves in certain ways, and then they have this fully other life, this secret life. Excuse me. Not uncommon though, right? We all kind of do this, but some people are really devoted to it. And, I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like I am a firm believer in people should do what they need to do in life, right? If that's what helps you survive. Now, if it's predatory, if it's hurting other people, I hope that's not happening, right? But it does, and it makes it harder for other people, right? Because if you think of somebody with a double life, you immediately think of what? Somebody who, some guy who has like a second family, right? Somewhere out there, or, you know, something like this, some kind of really deviant proclivity or whatever. But it might just be that, you know, at times, if you are a Leo, that does kind of have this other life for yourself. It could be that you just kind of dwell in your own worlds, you know, and your imagination, your fantasies, your creations, your artwork, your writing, your whatever it is, music. And nobody can get in there, really, right? And so I feel that, you know, as you're getting to this place, and I imagine like kind of climbing a ladder towards the sun, and it's getting, you know, it's getting hotter, and there's a sense of just this force of, well, I don't know, what is it, radiation or whatever, and it is powerful, and you in turn are powerful, and processing this energy and getting to a point where what are you going to do with it, right? Are you going to put this to use for something that is worthy of your work, or is this something that is going to feed into these secret places? Is this something that's going to bring anger? I mean, that's the other thing. It's just the anger, you know, this is when we have blockages. I always think of this guy on, what's that movie? Falling Down, if you've ever seen that. But it's kind of this guy, you know, and the story back when the movie came out was kind of more novel. Now we see it a lot, you know, we see it a lot on the news, unfortunately. But this guy who's just, you know, a regular guy, not making enough money, kind of, you know, struggling. The world kind of feels like it's against him. Nobody cares about him. It's just kind of a, you know, a bleak landscape. Hot. That's what I always think of the movie. It's so hot. And he just kind of loses it, right? And so when these big kind of, and you can think of like like a solar flare, like these big emissions of energy all at once, you know, must be directed into something, or it does. We end up being these kind of rageaholics, these angry people, and blaming everything around us instead of doing something about our lives for ourselves, you know. And so I think that it's important for you to continue to kind of build towards your goals, to allow yourself to go where you need to go. If you are somebody, like I said, you know, you might be kind of a night side Leo, somebody that really just wants to dwell in your own interior landscape, or almost, I mean, really maybe have kind of your own secret life, you know. And so where do you put all of this energy? I don't know, but hopefully it is making something. It is creating something. And I'm looking at this and I'm feeling like it just is this, I just feel this kind of like, it's like a repulsion to what is. I don't know if that's like the exact word, but you like feeling suddenly pushed out of the kind of safety of the world you had built. And you can definitely kind of lull yourself back into it. But at the same time, there's all of this kind of energetic force coming through. And so it is, what do you do? What will you do with it? Right? Are you going to change the way that things are? Are you going to reconfigure your life? Maybe that's the best, but maybe not. Maybe figuring out how to exist with more quality within the life that you have, you know? And really, ultimately, either way, I feel leads to the same place. Now, we have two fish here. They look like koi. So I feel like there is a sense of, yeah, longevity and hopefully good health. The koi is usually an indicator of good health. But also abundance, okay? And it just feels kind of like going in circles. What I'm thinking in my mind is like going in circles, trying to figure out what's the right move here, right? And it just, I don't feel like there's any right answer because they all kind of end up in the same place. It just depends on what you personally want, right? The safety of the relationship, mending that, growing that again, you know, kind of deciding I'm going to stay in this relationship, but I am now going to focus on my own stuff because I see that I'm not a priority, or at least my well-being not a priority at this time. So I'm going to work on my own things, and hopefully when everything chills out, we can kind of begin to grow again together. Or, you know, it's kind of like maybe this is time to start planning for what's the next step, an exit plan, right? And building the new life. I'm sorry, I had to take a drink. I'm feeling so much better, by the way. I feel a lot better today. So thank you all for your love. It really did help. And we have like a measuring cup here. We also have a bird. We have a horse. We have geese. So, okay, so I do feel like there's a sense of movement. So, yes, and I'm seeing the horses over here too. So it is this kind of feeling of like, I'm not going to sit around and just let that, like, I'm not going to succumb to this. I'm not doing this again. I'm not going to keep going over this over and over and over again, right? I'm getting on my horse and I'm all of my energies, all of my psychic, emotional energies are put into this. Now we have the geese kind of attacking the horse. So I feel like it's almost kind of outside parties. I kind of almost wonder if this is like your partner's family, okay? Or your own family, if you're at odds with a family member, really coming after you. Like, really going after you. And I feel like it's almost kind of the sense of, it feels like to you anyways, like this is not warranted. Like you're not the bad guy in this situation. Not that there is any bad guy or bad girl or whatever. But you feel like you're being singled out. Like it's always your responsibility to be the one to take the high road, to be the one that kind of, you know, surrenders, right? And makes things, smooths it all over. And I just feel like there's a sense of like, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done with this. I have lived my life in this cycle for long enough, and I'm ready to focus on my own work, right? And so we also have the measuring cup. So I feel like it's a sense of like really trying to look at the whole thing and weigh the pros and cons of what you're going to do. quite literally, like probably doing like a financial plan and lining them up next to each other, seeing if I move out, if I stay, you know, if I stay for 6 months or whatever, just looking at all of the pros and cons in a way that is realistic, right? And so, you know, I feel that, well, ultimately it's like you got to do what you got to do, right? And even if you do this, which, and you have to understand, I'm not saying that I love my husband, right? I do, absolutely. But I'm a Virgo, and also, you know, because I am in recovery, and I have been for 10 years, I have sponsored people and I've worked with people, and I've seen a lot of situations that are just so bleak, right? And a lot of them are because people feel stuck. They don't have plans. You know, they don't know how to get out of situations. So let me just say that. That's my little, you know, explanation here. But yeah, I feel like everybody should have like ideas about if things don't work out, and not even just that you're separating, but like what if something happens, somebody loses a job, or you know, something, you have a surprise child, or you know, a health issue arises. You know, these are all things that you have to consider. And so having plans, at least rough ideas of what will this look like, right? And I think it's, yeah, I think it's important for all of us to have a really honest look at what can we do for ourselves? What can we do as a family, right? Not these kind of, you know, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to make anybody feel bad. I don't want to, you know, I'm too afraid to look at what the actual state of things are. You can't live like that. You just can't. And maybe this is because I'm getting older, you know, I don't know. Maybe I think when I was younger, I would have been like, that's almost like cheating in your relationship to think, or you're dooming your relationship. No, knowledge is power. Okay. And you should live your life as empowered as you can. Right. And so, also, you know, I have been in situations where I relied on people, definitely. And it's not easy. It's not an easy thing. You know, and it can, and especially if you're with somebody who likes to control things, or will belittle you, or, you know, what, like financial abuse or whatever, right? So all these things are important. And I just want to tell you that because I like to be transparent. I do. And, you know, I might not always make sense, or my, you know, how I do things maybe doesn't always sound appealing to others, but I'm just a practical Virgo lady, right? And that's what it comes down to. And so anyways, you know, it's important to have all of your, all of your ducks in a row. There you go. We also have a person holding a child. Okay, so there's an energy of a child here. We also have a dragonfly, which is a beautiful, beautiful creature. Also, one of the actually, I think it is the #1 predator of the insect world. Kills more things than anything else. Because they fly and they're very strong. I just had one in my bathroom the other day. I woke up after a storm. It was a really good storm too. and I took a shower, got out of the shower, I looked up, and it was like standing there on top of the window lock, and I thought, what the heck is that? I thought it was a toy at first, and I got closer and I realized that's a freaking that is a dragonfly. What does that do? How did that get in our house? You know, we have the cat, so it's like, how did that even happen? I don't know. But I take it as a very lucky sign, right? This is a sign of power. This is a sign of a larger and wider perspective. This is, you know, something that is very agile and able to kind of really, what's the word? Not traverse. It's like, it's just really not stealth either. Well, it could be stealth as well. Good at direction, I guess. Really good at getting, you know, really maneuvering. That's the word. Really good at maneuvering. And yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly. Leo, you are good at maneuvering. So also we have this child in the mix here. This could be your own child. This could be a child within the family. You know, maybe inner child work happening, but it seems important. This is something that needs to be taken into consideration, okay? All right, let's see. We also have the Wild Offering Oracle cards, and I'm just going to go ahead, pick these up, and we're going to flip through them real quick. Stop where it feels right. And it says, forgiveness. Healing comes from acceptance. Help me, dear Lord, to fully accept what is, knowing that this alone will open me to the new. This alone will open me to the new. All right. Okay, Leo, I'm going to go ahead and say I love you, because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. I haven't been great. I admit it. I haven't been great about replying back. I'm reading them, not always replying back. I've been super sick, or the whole family has. So, you know, as mom, no matter how sick you are, you're never sick enough to get a break. So, you know, been a little worn down. That's okay. That's all right. And so, you know, I'm a little bit slow on things. So I'm catching up. I am. And so if you want to leave a comment, I will read it. I always do. And yeah, I think that's it. Ooh, cough right at the end there. So I love you. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk in a few days. Good night.